Hey everyone, today we're doing part 2 of a 4-part series with Dr. Matthew Pennell. Today we're talking about how to handle business in the crisis and pivoting business and still continuing to earn. Hi, my name is Jacob Godar, and on my channel, I talk about creating, dreaming, and building your future through business, investing, and purpose. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and now let's get right into it. Me and Matthew have a great conversation about what is going on right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you take the coronavirus and you look at, okay, there's a stay-at-home order in. All right, it is what it is. They want people to stay home as much as possible, avoid contact, which is kind of an interesting concept in itself. Not kind of, it is. It's crazy. But at the same time, like if that much limiting will physically reduce some of the effect of the potential spread of virus, regardless of how intense it is, okay, we're not traveling, we're not doing a lot of things like that. At what point is it too much, or what point, are we going to be like, all right, hey, we're going to have to venture out a little bit and kind of kick things up again? It affects business. How has it, made an impact on you guys?
We've been very blessed to, still be having a bunch of stuff coming in. I really do think in our line of work that, we market so heavily, but I've heard that it's not just us. It's like everyone in our field, at least in our area, is got a lot coming in right now. But we're in a kind of time where if you have income and you're working from home, just because you're working from home doesn't mean you have more time. If you're sitting at your kitchen table with a laptop, it doesn't mean you've got more time when you've been on the phone all day long. At the end of the day, you don't want to go out and do it. So now you just look at it. So that's like one of my opinions on why things could be going pretty good for a lot of the businesses.
Are you talking like for your business, like you don't want to go out and look at what, like the lawn and stuff like that?
Well,
or what do you?
I'm just saying, like, as a homeowner, one of my opinions is if you're working from home right now and you haven't lost income, well, you didn't gain any time. You just changed your office. And now you look at your front window and you see the problem in your yard. And, I've had several people tell me, well, I thought I'd do so much more now that I'm at home, but at 4 o'clock, I'm fried. I've been on the phone all day. I'm not going to do anything.
Hey everyone, I wanted to jump in here real quick in the middle of this and say, if you're liking this, make sure you smash that like button. Also, if you're in the landscape industry or marketing in general, because these will give you ideas, go check out jacobgodar.com and look at the screen. You're going to go down to here. You're going to click on freebies, and then you're going to go down to the bottom of that page. It's got some Facebook marketing ideas that in this time, I can't preach enough. It is important to continue marketing. Check that out. I'll talk to you soon. Enjoy the video.
Makes sense. But wouldn't you say, though, too, a big product of the reason that you guys are still so successful and having people come in is it's not because you started marketing all of a sudden. It's because you put a lot of work into this time so that as things like this occur, not that any of us can plan it, but hey, you're still going to keep rolling at least as much as possible, even in a time like this. That is why it's important to do all the back end stuff and market hard so that, as much as you can, you don't skip a beat, right?
Yeah, no, we don't skip a beat. And, it's a saying that I truly believe, and it's not even the best service, the best product, the best chiropractor that wins. It's the best marketing. McDonald's, they don't have the best burger, but they've got market share because of their marketing. They're being seen out front. More people eat that burger than like almost anywhere else. And it's how much just pushed out there out in front of everybody. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best quality burger you can get. So, a lot of times I feel like it's the best marketed company that, really wins. But
I would also add to that, though, with you talk about a company like McDonald's and, maybe you guys are headed in this direction also. A lot of it's consistency. Like if I go to McDonald's, I know what I'm getting. It's going to be fast. It's, it may not be the best quality, but I know what I'm getting. I don't expect that. It's just at a certain price point, it's quick and whatever, and I move on, right?
Yeah.
I think that your consistency of business that you guys have established over the time of, we offer this product, the prices, and we're marketing and all that stuff, like people just know what to expect. So there's a big difference there.
Exactly. And, especially with our customer service being such a huge focus with the office staff. And I didn't mean to downplay our service and say that, more of just a stance that the marketing just wins, in a situation like this, less people are going to be spreading word of mouth. So if you're relying on word of mouth, that's not going to probably kick in as much. Yeah, people are still talking, but not as much. In marketing, it's kind of like a savings account. You put money in, and eventually, when there was actually an interest rate of return on savings, it would eventually
not 0.1%.
Yeah, it would start actually producing some money, but it wasn't instant. I also use like the thought of, it's not like pushing on a gas pedal on a car. You push on the gas pedal on a car, you go. Marketing isn't necessarily turn it on and turn it off. That's why you should just always market. No matter, even if you're too busy. If you're too busy, raise your prices, change something else. Don't stop the inflow, because busyness is a good problem.
Yeah, definitely. And the consistency of the marketing side is important, in doing social media and doing whatever it is that, fits your business, I guess. For us, because we were always consistent on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, whatever we're trying to do, we've actually continued to get new patients in our door also, even during this time. Again, like you said, maybe not as many referral word of mouth, because people aren't moving quite like that, but they're still using the internet and more than ever. So yeah, it makes sense. It's like, even if you're not the best at it, I think you and we talked offline a little bit the other day where, I think to each of us, we look at our own work, and at times we're not as jacked as we would like to be, because we think it can always be better. Yeah. But it's something, right? It's still out there. It's still the best of us at that time, even in a rushed state. So, something's better than nothing, in my opinion. We always want it better, but
for sure,
hey, keeping rolling is important, right?
Yeah, that's one of my biggest things. And I told somebody that the other day. I don't have many good qualities, but I do know that I don't stop, and I keep moving forward no matter what. And in business with the marketing and everything, that's what wins, because you're not, or in life, you're not always right. It's like a deck of cards, you get dealt what you get dealt, and you get to deal with it. So you make how that play goes, it's not.
Yeah, but you play to your quality, something that I've always, as a kid, always looked up to you in a lot of ways, in regards to the fact that you were always willing to hey, whatever it is you felt passionate about, you were going to roll with it. And, you always had that type of when you really want to do something, you have that obsessed type mentality that some people will look at and go,
some people think I got a problem.
Some people who have an obsessive type, for whatever reason, are like, oh wow, that's a little over the top. But what people on the other side, or on the marketing or the business side, are like, dude, you have to be that way if you want to turn $1 million business. Mm-hmm. If you're kind of half in, half out, running around, it's very difficult. You can get there over time. And I think that's what you're alluding to with outlasting competition and always being present. You're still going to further yourself, but that type of mentality you've always used to your advantage. And that's why I think there's a lot of success that attributes purely to that also for you.
Yeah. Just getting that obsessed. And that's something you're right though. That's something I've always done, is I just get completely consumed and obsessed, and I don't let up, and that's just it. That's great. That's how you got to be with a business. And that's really,
honestly,
anybody that succeeds, that's got to be,
Yeah. And I've taken a lot of that in, especially at these COVID times where, we're talking how it's affected business. And I think a big part, as we've discussed, is you just can't stop, and, kind of taking your mentality of, really grinding in and what it is you do best, and learning more. And, I'm trying to now, in downtime, if you will, or times that I'm not seeing patients, which is not quite as much as it was previously, it's we're learning more, we're checking our back end, catching up, then doing outreach and all the things that now over the past few weeks, if we really kick that in, it's keeping us busy. And so I think it's cool that you've always had that type of of mindset and mentality. I think that's why things like your YouTube page have done well. So flipping it back over to you then, how, in your mind, how can other businesses continue to improve during these, COVID times?
I mean, honestly, so like, my wife, sometimes I get excited about how things are going, and she's like, well, you got to understand not everybody's situation is going the same. And I get that. I know that, our situation by no means is like awesome, because we should be ahead. We're just doing what we were doing last year, but I'm grateful for that. But business wise, to pass that around, I mean, right now, I think I heard you mention it earlier, it's a time that like, you need to be like, how do I pivot? How do I pivot the business? How do I change what we're doing? I mean, if you're a restaurant, you're already seeing these people doing the takeout, the delivery, the come in and, or, something to keep money moving through a business and market the heck out of it, whatever the change is. And I mean, that's so different for every different business. For us, I've got some new ideas of what I want to do that's maybe going to change the game for us. But that's way different for a restaurant versus, like I've heard of like people in the fitness realm. I know you've always been really passionate about fitness. I have on and off. Right now is not one of my most heavy passionate about fitness times. But those people getting into doing online courses because you're at home, not even a course, online live cycling or something.
Yeah.
Just because you're at home and you can't be at the gym doesn't mean you don't want to be fit. So there's some kind of opportunity. And I also think it's not even to sound crude, because I hate that sometimes I might like look over things and sound like I'm insensitive, but I feel like it could also, like, if you just don't see where you could pivot to, maybe it's a sign that you're in a business that like, maybe there's a different thing that I can move into right now that would be more resilient to anything. Because we're seeing something, if your business is resilient to this, I mean, it could be resilient to a lot of stuff. So right now, maybe it's time to look at the other things that there are that you could be starting to spool up while it's going on.
Or, yeah, for sure. And yeah, maybe you're too one-dimensional. But an example that maybe could, like for us, okay, maybe for a little while we didn't have the ability to get as hands-on as we would like and what we normally would with chiropractic. That's obviously a big part of what we do. But maybe now we attack more of the nutrition. There are things that we have always wanted to do, just because we were rolling in our first year, we didn't do as much of that. Well, hey, now's a good opportunity to learn more nutrition, to be able to offer things that are going to help people. That may not mean we need to physically be hands-on. It can create another revenue stream.
Exactly.
And help people in the right way, right?
All right, so that was a great one, Matthew. We've got 2 more of these coming up. This has been so great to get this into smaller, digestible pieces of this content. So now that we're finished, go ahead and hit up here and make sure you watch the rest of these. If you haven't seen one, hit the notification bell so you get notifications of part 3 and 4 when they come out. Make sure to do all of that right now. See you soon.